ukwenjenje kuvula iminyango umkenjenje kungenisa nina apha kwavusilanga kuleli khaya lenkcubeko yesintu. Today is Wednesday, the 6th of January, is our first Wednesday for this year. Many people know, those who are followers of this channel, ukuthi Wednesdays we deal with amayezo kunyanga, we deal with amathambo ingcambo amagqabi, we deal with imihlaba, we deal with amafutha. Today we are not going to deal with any of those in specific details. When we do years, we get deeper into it. Today we are going to class phayana kwavusilanga apho sise classini khona nabantwana besikolo. This is going to be very long, bantwana bahle. It's going to be one of the longest videos, but we say if you believe ukuthi there is anything to learn, at least sit down and be in class. Today being Wednesday, this 6th of January, sizawuthi xa sigqibohlukana, we are not going to come and say bye bye because it's going to be long enough. We will meet on Saturday. Saturday sizabe sidilisha nento zezilwane. There are many questions around izinto zezilwane. Ezi zilwane zivelaphi? Ezi zilwane zitreatwa njani? Ezi zilwane sizibona njani? We have a video on izilwane. This is a follow-up video. Please don't miss on that discussion. For this one, when I'm talking, hey, I'm interested in this class, go to www.vusilanga.co.za. There is a registration form if you're interested in joining a school. It closes month end on the 31st of January. If you missed that month end, you will miss out because the registration form becomes inactive. So if it's inactive, there's nothing you can do. You wait until it's activated again. Without any ado, because this thing is going to be long, let's jump into a classes yodibana Saturday kwizilwane kamako. Okay, let's get into it. We'll start by reminding ukuthi we completed group 1, ABC wakhona. We completed group 2, ABC wakhona. Group 3, they ran away. That's why we are now to do group 3, because Ocele requested that I must do group 3 assignment, which is not a good thing, because the intention of learning ukuthi as groups you work on your assignment, because this is how you learn to mix. Now xa kuphinde kumix kwamna is not really helping ababalekileyo, but ke maybe December and the problems ka December abantu busy imigidi, we thought babalekile kanti bayojive. Let's get into it without wasting more time. The only thing I did, okay, let me start by saying I'm going to answer one question and then another question, because I want you to start interacting. Even those who ran away, let's still open the discussion up until maybe end of January. If you still have questions, let's still interact so that we get something out of a class, because we need to be fair. December is really not a right time of doing anything, because December people started moving, so they could not concentrate, and there were new places where they are not staying. For instance, if you stay in some flat in Joburg, now you go home, the environment has changed, so it's a bit hectic, it's chaotic. So I understand why abantu ran away, but we should not rely on good people are busy. At least people must have attempted something, even if it was not enough. Okay, let's get into it. What I did group 3, I changed the name of a person for the assignment, because when we deal with the preschool, I realized preschool normally is ladies or women who own a preschool. We use the name of a man. Now the name is Priscilla. Let's get to a case. Priscilla, your client who has a preschool, says if preschool is not doing well. Parents are now withdrawing their children. So your preschool is losing customers. The assessment of Priscilla is that she has a best preschool in the area. She has a good staff, meaning the people that she employed are very good. But the preschool is not doing well to an extent that the business is shutting or for its closing down. Now, we start with the general approach. the general approach says a preschool business is falling within the category of the businesses where your customers come to your premises. Your premises may be your home. So your business is at home. Either you have a preschool in your garage, you have a tavern in your yard, you have a salon in your garage or somewhere in some of the rooms, back rooms. This type of business is a business where people enter your house. This is a first assumption. Priscilla owns a preschool within the yard. But we must also be mindful of the fact that someone may have a preschool in some place. You can be renting in a church, some place somewhere, not necessarily your house. But our assumption in this one is that Priscilla runs a preschool at home. That is a general assumption for this assignment. Now, like I said, it will be the same approach for someone who has a tavern at home, a salon at home, someone who's selling fat cakes at home, someone, whatever form of business that is at home. That's the first approach or a first principle. Now let's get into things that we need to consider. There are things that when you start a business, you need to start with, that you need to know, that you need to remember. No particular order, but number one is important. When you start any business, whether it's Priscilla's business or is a tendering business or you are selling, what are you selling? Tupperware, whatever you are doing called business. The first thing, you need to report your business to your forebears, those who came before you. Business siyazisa esihlweleni. You tell your forebears the type of business that you are venturing into. You tell them the details of the business. I'm selling Tupperware. I'm selling amagwin. I'm running a preschool. This is the nature of my business. You tell your ancestors, we are not prescriptive. You use a chicken, just a candle, an impepo, or it doesn't matter. It's up to you how you want to tell abantu bakokwenu about your business. Here's one thing we always caution against. You don't go to a traditional health practitioner to seek advice. How do I do lento? No. Go to abantu bakokwenu. Go to your brothers, go to your aunt, go to your... Because indlela yokuthetha nabantu bakokwenu, indlela yakokwenu. Don't go to Ubele to advise you on how to talk to Ogaba or Romgebe or Rodlamini. Talk to abantu because Ubele will tell you about Wabele. And then you may be missing the family approach. This is the first thing. Introduce your business to abantu basekhaya. That's the first thing. The second thing, introduce your business to your parents. Tell your mother, tell your father, I'm starting this type of business. Why do you tell those who are departed and those who are alive? Those who are departed, we believe in our African religion, in inverted commas. We believe that our blessings are carried by them. We believe that it is them who shower those blessings over us. It is them who guide, who protect, who lead the way. Without them, whatever that you are doing has no guide, has no guardrails, has no map, has no, people use GPSs. GPS tells you 10 left, 10 right. So this is something that guides you. You need a guide. Without those who came before you, you are radarless. You are driving in the dark. You are driving in an unmarked road with no signage. You are in trouble. So why do you tell those who are living? Your mother, your father, your auntie, your uncle, your grandmother. These are people who have your interest at heart. Their well wishes are communicated. Well, we are mindful of the fact that some people have issues with their parents, with their grandmothers. We are talking firstly to those who have no problems with their parents. Tell your parents. If when you say you have no parent, when you've got issues with your parents, The starting point is to mend the rifts with your parents. That's the first thing. If you say you have no mother, you have no father, but you have a mother figure, a father figure, that's the person who will wish you well. This is a person who will say, mntanam kuzawulunga, do the business. Sometimes your mother, your father won't see the business because they're old. They send you to school so that you become a teacher and you go to school. You go work for someone. Now, because you're now a clever black, you want to start your business. So they may not understand your things of today. Let me put it like that. They want you to go work and now you don't want to go work. So if they say, mntanam, this thing is Zulunga, explain to them why it is going to succeed so that they wish you well on the things that you have explained to them. This is all number one. Number two, flowing from the above, once you start to tell your ancestors about your business, and once you have decided, Uguti, I'm going to take this approach, now I'm going to use a paper, I'm going to use a candle, no, I will slaughter a chicken, or you start to have a designated place where you talk to your ancestors daily, every second day, every third day, but continuously. You start to have that particular place. So thina bantu bamayeza, we have umkhawule, we have isigodlo, we have indumba, we have all those sorts of things. This is a place where you go. It doesn't necessarily have to be indumba. It can be in your room, some corner in your room. Maybe you have a one room. A corner in your one room is where you put your candle, is where you light your pepper, is where you go and kneel. This is your place. If you go to it, you take off your shoes, you go and kneel, you become this person who presents him or herself to those who are departed. If you need to clear or whatever, but this is a place. I repeat, it can be in your room. You start to have this place. This is a place you go to talk to ababangekhoyo, uyabacenga bantu abadala. Elishishini nindinike lona. It's important that you dedicate your business to them. Your preschool Priscilla is no longer your business, is their business. This business that you've given to me, I want you to protect it. I want you to be isibunge. I want you to get customers for me. I want you, because you want them to do for you. And you also tell them what you will do for them. Ndiyawazi amatyala lapha ekhaya akhona endingawaziyo. If the business succeeds, I will take care of business in your home language, ne? You don't communicate in someone else's language. Ukuba izinto zalapha ekhaya elishishini lihamba kakuhle, okay, let me rephrase. Ukuba elishishini lihamba kakuhle, ndizawahoya amatyala alapha ekhaya. Ndiyalazi ityala elithile nelithile onke la matyala afuna imali. As soon as I get le mali, I will do A, B, C, D. You are now having a conversation with those who came before you. They want you to do those things. They are not able to do for themselves. You are not able to do the things you want them to do for you. So this is a conversation, is inner eta. This is number 2. Or number 3, if you start a business, it is important that you are clean. Priscilla, some people may be taking their children away from your preschool because all of a sudden they don't like you. All of a sudden, all of a sudden, people, when they look at you, Priscilla, preschool is very nice, but man, there's something with you, Priscilla. So you need, because remember, as we'll discuss below, your preschool, your salon, your tavern, your whatever is a contested space. Someone is doing the same business and wants the same customers that you have. Abantu abalali, bakuthumela izichitho, When you are Priscilla, you are there folding your arms and thinking that tomorrow you'll still get the same number of clients, and the third day and the fourth day and the fifth day. Remember, there are people who will go to town to get things that you don't want to imagine. Some will come with this group, some will come with inyoka, some will come because they use these things to attract customers. What do you have? You, Priscilla, you've chosen to use abantu bakokwenu as isigubhu, as anyoka. Abantu bakokwenu, they want you to stand up and do something for yourself. Khupha izimnyama so that abantu bakokwenu bavele. Once you start to be shrouded, you now start to have this veil. They won't see you, so your business won't work. So cleanse yourself, Priscilla. We are still discussing general principles. Number 4, the place where you run a business must be as clean as you. If you cleanse yourself and the place too, because people may like you, Priscilla, because when your place, man, when I get into your house, when I get into your yard, man, my blood curdles, man, I don't feel okay. So there's a problem in your yard, and the problem in your yard becomes your problem. So our aptitude, our approach, as you will see below when we start to mix amayas, use as far as possible the same combination you used in your yard, use it in yourself, right? This is a principle. Now let's get into Priscilla. Priscilla comes to you with the case that we have described. Priscilla, hey, my business was doing well, all of a sudden it's not doing. Our problem here with Tina Bantu Bamayeza, when Priscilla comes, you see Priscilla and you see money. Yes, someone who will give me whatever price because it's running a business and is struggling, needs your help. Now that we are here, as we have discussed it before, Iyeza works, but some of the problems are not problems of uthakati. Some of the problems are simple problems. Priscilla may leave your place without Iyeza. Now, sit Priscilla down. Discuss with Priscilla the business that she's doing. Ask questions. Priscilla, at what point did you realize that people are no longer coming to your preschool? At what point did you realize that the parents are taking their children from your preschool? Priscilla will say, I started noticing in January, or maybe in March or April. Then Priscilla, as far as you remember, what changed in your area? What changed in your preschool around that period? Because you may realize that Priscilla increased the rent, and then people started to pull their children. There could have been a COVID. Now, because there's a COVID, abazali are now at home. They no longer have to send their children to a preschool. Or even if abazali are not at home, the older children are at home because COVID said children must stay at home. So the younger ones are now staying with the older ones. That could be a factor. What else, Priscilla, that might have changed in your area? You discuss all these things. And then Priscilla says, no, man, yes, you are right. And then you say, Priscilla, because your problem has nothing to do with the Iyeza, let's wait it out. The COVID is affecting everyone. All businesses are affected. So your business is affected the same way. Even if I give you Iyeza, even if I make you isibung, even if we do everything, you still have the same problem because children are at home. If Priscilla is unable to identify factors in the environment, remember those who study team management will remember PESTEL. PESTEL will say political factors, economic factors, social factors, technological factors, environmental factors, legal factors, all these factors. Political factors, if Priscilla is staying in some fleshy suburb, maybe there's a preschool that has been opened by a white person. And uPriscilla was the only person who owns a preschool. Now white people are taking their kids to another white woman or white man in some white preschool. So uPriscilla is no longer relevant. That's political. We discussed economic factors. Priscilla increased the rent. Parents don't have money because of COVID and whatever. And then Priscilla is now losing a business because the next person is competing using a price. That's economic. Social factors could be such factors, could be such socially driven factors. Maybe Priscilla is suspected of mayez. People say, no, I can't take my child to Priscilla because Priscilla is Priscilla is not born again, or whatever social factors. Someone says, hey, Priscilla is wearing these, what do you call those things? Is a sangoma. Priscilla is a sangoma, has those beads. Someone is not happy with you because you've got your beads, or maybe someone so is pawned or whatever social factors. They may not necessarily be linked to ubusangoma, amayeza, could be another social factor. People may be going against Priscilla because Priscilla all of a sudden is no longer favored in the community. If umntana Priscilla is a drug addict, abazali don't want to take their children to Priscilla. So those will be factors, technological factors. Abantu may be using technology. Now there's a preschool where parents can communicate with the teacher via Zoom. They can see their children while they're at home using some app that Priscilla has not got into. Priscilla technologically is left out. So abazali, but no, we prefer the other one, because now we're able to communicate with the teacher or whatever. So because of the technology, Priscilla is left out. Those are factors. Without going to each and every one of them, you are discussing with Priscilla. Having gone through the discussion, remember, this could be the same discussion with the taxi driver who says, hey, my taxi is not doing well. A salon lady who says, my salon is not doing well. Or a tavern person who says, my tavern. So you sit down and you discuss. Because I want to emphasize, thina bantu bamayeza, we rush to money. And we use amayeza that don't even help people. People come back and say, and now all of a sudden you are angry. Only because the problem was not ubutagat. When now you use the amayeza to deal with the problem, it's like you use Panado for a stomach ache. Someone has got a stomach problem, but Panado, even though it's for pain, is not for a stomach ache. The stomach ache is you use something else, or my Maxolon. You can't use something that relieves the pain in your stomach for a headache. So no, you've got, I was saying Maxolon instead of something else. Deal with a problem, and that problem, having diagnosed it properly, don't take something that solves another problem and superimpose it on something because now you are hungry, you want money. So you've discussed with Priscilla and you've realized, man, the problem got Priscilla because of amapupa got Priscilla. Or Priscilla has also gone to someone who's a fortune teller, or Priscilla has gone to someone or Onyangayo, Kazayo, and they've discussed the same problems that Priscilla is acknowledging. And from the story of Priscilla, Bubutagati. If Bubutagati, now you say to Priscilla, then we can start working. Priscilla, do you have a mayeza that you have used in the past month or two? Yes, I have. What have you noted from the moment you used the mayeza up to now? Hey, la mayeza wanceda. The suggestion I normally give about, you see, Priscilla, we cannot use a mayeza on top of a mayeza. I advise you, if you believe that mayeza that you got before is not helping you, I would advise you that you take it out. I would advise you that you discard the mayeza and you explain to Priscilla the process of discarding a mayeza, because you don't just throw them outside your yard or in your dustbin or burn them. There has to be a process. So if Priscilla is not agreeable, because I spent 8,000 on la mayeza, so Priscilla, we can't pile a mayeza on top of amanye, and I can't give you a mayeza lapekaya if you have a mayeza, because I wouldn't know if a mayeza sekaya have worked when you have amanye amayeza. Once you start to have other problems, because the mayeza you have and the mayeza I gave you are now starting to fight, you'll then go to other people and say, I got a mayeza kwaphela, now are not working. If Priscilla is agreeable to the idea of discarding lawana mayeza, honestly and fairly, then we can start working. We tell abantu, if you use amayeza akwabhele, when you get amayeza akwadlamini, la mayeza azawulwa. Because amayeza see amanye amayeza and they start fighting. We have no problem with his wash. You can pile his wash because his wash. The issue with amayeza is how we mix them. That's the main issue with amayeza. There are people who use amayeza that Upele does not use, that Upele does not agree with. Now, you use la mayeza and you get a mayeza kwaphela, that mayeza that Upele is not using start to fight with amayeza kwaphela. Maybe someone who can understand this better is someone who understands how amayeza work. But for purpose of this assignment, you deal with a case ka Priscilla and explain. If Priscilla doesn't understand, you can let Priscilla go, because you don't want to be added to the list of people that Priscilla went to and amayeza abo never went. Now let's assume ukuthi Priscilla is agreeable to the idea of discussing amayeza akhe. Now Priscilla, apha ekhaya, if we are to deal with a case like yours, is going to be a two-step approach. Everything we are going to do will have step 1, step 2, step 1, step 2, step 1, step 2. This is the approach that we are going to take. When I give you amayeza, Priscilla, I don't expect you when you get home to remember everything I said. So if you happen to forget, give me a shout, because you would have paid by the time you leave this place. So you need to make sure you remember the instructions well. You can write them if you want, but even if you wrote them, if you forget, call me so that you don't make a mess of things. These are the things that we will do, Priscilla. We are going to sprinkle. We are going to sprinkle your premises. You are going to steam. Uzawufutha, Priscilla. Uzawushunqisa, uzawuqhumisa, uzawutshisa. You are going to burn iyeza. Those are 3 things, Priscilla, that you are going to do. At the end of step 1, on these 3 things, uzawuqinisa, Priscilla. It's going to be cheaper if you do these things on your own. If you want me to come to your place in Zoqinisa, I'm going to charge you more than what I'm going to give you. I advise you, ukuthi you get someone like me azoqinisa, but if you don't have money, we will do the patchwork where uzawuzenzela lento yokuqinisa. This will be your step 1. And then we'll go to step 2. Step 1, Priscilla, we call them amayeza okulwa, amayeza okuhlanganisa. We code them red and black. We code them red and black. You are going to use la mayeza as step 1. And then after step 1, you are going to take a break 2 days. And then you are going to do step 2. Step 2 ngamayeza enhlahla, Priscilla. We code them red and white. There's a reason why there's a red that side and red this side. I will mix la mayeza for you. Our attitude and approach, Priscilla, here. If you are interested in knowing what exactly Bele did you mix, I will tell you I mixed A, B, C, D, E. If you think you can mix, you can. If you think unasisihlwele esinyangayo, we are not ashamed of sharing la mayeza with you, because we want you by the time you leave here to also get empowered, Priscilla. So if you are interested, I can mix in your presence. If you don't mind, I can mix faster on my own away from you. Which approach do you choose? And then Priscilla will choose. It's important. where we should get as abantu bamayeza is at the same point as other people internationally. Indians will tell you what they mixed. Chinese will tell you what they mix. Mexicans, we black people are imfihlo kaBhele, imfihlo yasekhaya, imfihlo yasekhaya, ukokos imfihlo yasekhaya, which is not helping even you. So we believe ukuthi the more you share, the more you get empowered. When someone knows the ingredients, someone use whatever that you've given with confidence. You know, when you know what is in the list, and you know you've been given in some information, go to this one is called this, that. Ifumaneke KZN. This one is this, that. See, Fumana on the borders of Malawi. This one is this. This one, why Sifagyan is because it's very scarce. It's from someone take Lamayeza seriously. Use them seriously. Is not going to pile Lamayeza in some wardrobe somewhere. Because understand the Lamayeza, each and every one of them by name, and is now empowered, know the colors of Amayeza and why colors are important. Now, I think without any ado, let's start mixing. You remember what we discussed before in class. Now I said, is me. When I mix Amayeza, if I'm mixing Amayeza for many things, I start with amayeza okusela, because amayeza okusela, it's only those things that you can take into your mouth. We start there. With lamayeza, we then start to progress. We add other things on top of them, right? Let's start with our main batch. You remember the drill. We start with amayeza bomvu and then amayeza black. You don't start black and then you come to red. You remember the discussion on sunrise and sunset? Yes. Start with amayeza are red in no particular order, and this is my suggestion. When you go to your what we call the essential drug list, that long list, you take amayeza that tickles your fancy. This is me. You can take some of what I'm suggesting, add yours, take out what I'm suggesting, add yours. Here's my suggestion. Ilabatheka. You remember the story of Ilabatheka? Umbola. You remember the story of Umbola? Imboziso. Imboziso will use both the fennel and the other Mboziso. You remember we said in the Eastern Cape we only get fennel. Some people, particularly KZN, Mpumalanga, they also have that black Mbozi. So if you have both, use them both. Till now we only have ifene, like I said. Uchitipunga, punyuka bempete, ishalati, inyazangoma zonke. You remember we said inyazangoma, even though there's a red, black, white, we use inyazangoma as part of red and black. We never use them with white, including inyazangoma and mhlophe. Then it's up to you. You can add umaphipha, only ikubalo, not intelezi. Umaphipha, you add intolwane, you add ubhoqo. You remember the story of intolwane. Intolwane, ilabatheka, get them. Even if you miss the rest. For the purposes alapha kwa Priscilla, ilabatheka and intolwane, maybe even ubhoqo. You can forget the rest. But these three. Sitemos, you start by mixing red, yedwa, and then you mix black, yedwa, and then you put them together. You remember also it drill, you don't mix quiet. It's like taking ingambu namaqabi namaqolo, they mean nothing without you uthethisa yes. And we also mentioned in class ukuthi is important if you add iyeza ufaka uchitibhunga, you mention uchitibhunga ufaka uchitha ibhunga, and you state exactly why ufaka uchitha ibhunga. When you add another one, you mention exactly why you add this other one. And then when you start ukuwakhanda la mayeza, you talk about all of them. You remember when we said abantu bakudala bazawuthetha isiyeza bafana abadala, ndifuna ndithi xa nifika le ndawo ndinithuma kuyo nifike nibafana abadala, ndifuna nisebenze nonke, ndifuna nincedisane njengoba ndinifake nonke bafana abadala, ningabi notrara. Uthethisa iyeza, you call them bafana abadala or whatever is up to you. Ukhanda iyeza, you empower eliyeza. Amayeza afuna unconywa uyawancoma, uwabiza amayeza ngamagama onke. You remember ophunyuka bemphethe unosepha, uyalibiza iyeza lakho, iyeza lamatyala, uyalithethisa iyeza as if you're talking to umntu. Now you are done with your batch. It's a big batch. We said you are going to take from this big batch. Number one, siyachela. You take part from eliyeza, ufaka in your bucket according to your size. If you want 5 liter, you want 2 liter, you want 20 liter, depending on your premises. You soak, yes. Now, we said, it's up to you if you want to mix iyeza with ezizinto esizibiza izwasho. While you soak the iyeza lakho, if you want to add your rough salt, you want to add your madupula, ishibosh, you want to add other things, is up to you. So you have iyeza lochela. We are saying, uzawuchela for 3 days at least minimum. Ngalamayeza okuhlanganisa, lana ngamayeza okulwa, ngamayeza ohlanganisa, siyachela. We always start inside and then go outside. These 3 days yokuchela is the 3 days yokugquma. We are food, you are steaming. We take you from the same big batch. We called it a big batch. You take from the same big batch, you are going to steam. It's up to you to also add kula mayeza okugquma. You can add your camphor, you can add your sulfur, you can add your madupula, your rough salt. Is up to you. Ngamayeza akho ohlanganisa. One thing we forgot to mention, when you are done with the batch, is now complete. Uhlanganisa eqaleni impinda will be your pindumva, your mpindamshaye, and then we add namanye amayeza anjengogqoma inyoka iziphinda, ngamayeza lana esihlanganisa ngawo kuba izinto zibuyele umva. You put them together, you add them as one thing on your big batch. Someone may also want to add, I want to caution, someone may want to add uphenduka. The problem with uphenduka, stains. If you sprinkle, now your wall is stained blue or green, you are now in trouble. If you going to sprinkle outside, I have no problem for uphenduka, but if uzawuchela endlini, will stain your curtains, will stain your mat, will stain your wall. Take it out, uphenduka, as part of ezampinda. Now we said we are chela for 3 days, we are gquma for 3 days. We said you can add whatever you want to add on ukuchela, you can add whatever, you can use the same combination exactly as it is ukuchela nokugquma. While uchela, while ugquma, uyaqhumisa. In isiZulu bazawuthi uyashunqisa, uyachisa. You take from your batch. Now this one, because ayingeni emlonyeni, is not going to touch your skin. We add other things. Some may be corrosive, some may be dangerous. We add them. Now I'm adding the following. Is up to you to add on the list. Put your camphor block, put your sulfur, isibabuli. If you have ishak, add your shak. Abanye will use ifins. Abanye will grate the entire shak, like someone who's come Pekaya, we grate the entire shark without taking only ifins, the whole shark with its brains, with its teeth, and what a process. Uku process shark. You add your amafuta, your sperm whales. We have said ebantwini, if you go by sperm whale, and as a sperm whale is white, throw it away. Is not a sperm whale. A sperm whale has to be yellowish, goldish. Or if you get any other whale, it will be black. When we say black, it's not black because ichisiwe. They take from a blubber, they put a blubber emtini or a fencing or in some rod or somewhere, and then it starts to drip oil. That oil is going to be black. If now you don't have time for a sun extraction, what's the word? When you use the sun to extract the oil from the blubber, you can use a heat gun. Take a heat gun, that hot air, uzayibona oil yaqala uyadripper from the blubber and it's going to be black. It will smell fish. Original. That is original. You can use the way. If you also have the access kumayeza amafuta rather angu original, we suggest ukuba ufumane ingwe, amafutha engwe or amafutha ebhubesi, amafutha enja yolwandle. If is original. If it's not original, don't add. Because when we use amafutha ebhubesi, we want the spirit sebhubesi. Now this thing is not ebhubesi. What spirit are you using? This thing is not inja yolwandle. What spirit are you using? Abantu now use the faith that I'm going to buy. Some of the mafuta is your sunflower oil. Sunflower, what are you extracting from the sunflower oil? They take the sunflower oil, batati futale, whatever, and add it there. If it's not original, don't use. Then you start to add kulento yako kushunqisa ikaka mntanomhle, and you need not be ashamed ukungena ethafeni uyofuna ikaka. There will be lots of them. Sifuna ikaka yenja, it must be white, it's dried. Sifuna ikaka yehagu, it will be black. If uzifumene izikaka zomile, we can use ikaka yehashi even if yehagu even if ayikomi, but eyenja we like it dried. You'll use ikaka yehash or idonki, you'll use ikaka yehanisi, you'll use ikaka yefudo. What we do as ikaka, you take them. What am I saying, ikaka? I don't know the better word. Feces? Feces sounds. Feces? Let's call it ikaka because at least it's mild. You take a zikaka, you put them together. Like I said, ikaka yehash or idonki must also be dried. You pound them. You pound them. Ikaka yefudo is going to be difficult if you don't have something to pound. Uza sense is scary, it's going to take forever. But if you have a pounder, they become fluffy. Once you are done with the ikaka, you then take lamayas wenzile. You can use a sieve, a strainer. You strain them to get a powder of a consistency of your choice. You mix lamayeza ezakaka na lamayeza from the original batch, and then you add lamafuta eza oils. What we have started using gamafuta ehagu because we no longer get the originals. It's fake, whatever you find in town. So we say if someone says unamafuta enja yolwandle, must show you the meat. You cannot have amafuta enja yolwandle if you did not have enja yolwandle. Where do you get ibhubesi now that you have amafuta ebhubesi? If someone is close to a Kruger National Park, at least you'll believe that person. But someone in East London, ubele, all of a sudden, unamafuta ebhubesi, from where? Unless you got them from Impongo Park or in some zoo. But I can tell you, the zoos and the game reserves, they won't give you ibhubesi. Forget. But if someone is genuine, unawulamafuta, use them. So we say you mix everything together. You mix as a sulfur, as a camphor, as a gaga. Note, we don't use chilies. If you want something ebu chilies, use a cinnamon or use a ginger, not a chilies. You are going to start killing about it because that thing is going to give you bronchitis. Now you were dealing with ubutagat, all of a sudden you now have bronchitis. Imagine ubele making lento, giving to people abafununyangwa. At least to Priscilla is one. If you tell Priscilla, if we have you've got a tight chest, stop using it. Why do you add something that will give Priscilla a tight chest? Priscilla now has itchy eyes. It's because of the chilies. Discard it. Use something else. Repeat. Ugqumile uPriscilla for 3 days. Uchelile uPriscilla for 3 days. uPriscilla uchisile or uqhumisile for 3 days. On the 3rd day, uPriscilla is going to take a break here 2 days. Because this was step 1, we now go to step 2. Step 2, we make another batch. Step 2. On step 2, phayana besisilwa, phayana besihlanganisa, now sizisinhlahla kuPriscilla and the premises zikaPriscilla. We use amayeza. Before it was red and black, now is red and white, and the order is the same. We start with the red and then we come to white. You remember the drill? We always start with the red because our sunset and our sunrise, they start with the red. So we use the same approach. Mavula kuvaliwe, umkhanya kude, usidumo obomvu is up to you. You can use osidumo bonke, mix them according to their colors. Mpendulo obomvu, inceba emhlophe, uzeneke, uvela bahleke, uvuma omhlophe. You can use ovuma both, but for this one, I'm choosing uvuma omhlophe. Mix the batch. When you are done, you do like before. You remember we said, step 1, wokuphalaza, uzawuba step 2. I mean, step 1 uyasela, step 2 uyaphalaza. If you use to step 1 wokuqhuma, step 2 uzawuqhuma. If you use to step 1 wokuchela, step 2 uzawuchela. You always use steps. If ubuno step 1 wokushunqisa, they will push step 2 wokushunqisa. You don't miss kubekho only step 1 because sikhuphile, sihlanganisile, masiwakhuphe la mayeza, sifaka amayeza right. Amayeza amhlophe after sikhuphe la mayeza amnyama. Now you have your batch. From your batch, we soak like before, sizawuchela. After soaking, you remember the drill. It's up to you to add izinto ezimhlophe that you want to add. You can add your white milk, you can add your white sugar, you add. Uzawuchela. Take amanye amayeza because besichelile, besigqumile, sizawufutha futhi. Is up to you after taking kwi-batch ukuthi ufaka ntoni for ufutha, ungaphinda ufake your white sugar, your white milk, uyafutha. Phayana besisilwa, apha siyacela siyabulela. This is ukuchela, ukufutha. Remember, we had into yokuqhumisa, we also have into yokuqhumisa again. On this one, from your batch, you make a paste. Remember, phayana sisebenzise amafutha, phayana sisebenzise ishaki, sisebenzise sperm whales and other forms of whales enjazolwandle. This time, apha sifuna ukubiza okuhle. Yintoni ebizayo? Sizawusebenzisa into enjenge-honey. We are going to go back to our camphor. We are going to use our powder milk. We make a paste. This paste, our base will be honey. Everything sigala kula honey. Amayeza siwasefile afine. You make le honey. Uzawuqhumisa ngayo ke mntana omhle. Xa uqhumisa is up to you ukusebenzisa zinc. Inkcenkce is up to you ukusebenzisa charcoal. Phayana siqhumise for 3 days before. Siqhume for 3 days. Sichele for 3 days. This one, because it's siyaguqula, it can be 2 days, it can be 1 day, it's up to you. Now, this thing oyenzileyo yayi-paste yokuqhumisa, you can use it as isibunge sakho. Now, we are done with ukuqhumisa, we are done with every particular step 1 and step 2. When you are done with step 1, what we did not mention, when we are done with amayeza ka step 1, kula 2 days ye break, uyakwazi ubethelela. Xa ubethelela ke mntana omhle, you still go back to your batch, the original batch ka step 1. Uzawukwenza isikhonkwane sokubethelela. Approaches are up to you. If ufuna ukwenza insizi uzawatshisa la mayeza wenza insizi. If you want to take la mafutha ebhubesi njayolwandle, you can mix with insizi and uyobethelela. Someone would want to have isikhonkwane sisikhonkwane. There are many approaches. You can use ilabatheka, you can use umbhongisa, you can use isikhonkwane sikhonkwane, you can take la mayeza uwafake kwisiphondo, you can use plastic waqhinele plastikini wenze izinto zobethelela. It's up to you. We've discussed indlela zobethelela. The approach is yours. You took a break at 2 days, then you started with step 2. After doing step 2, asizuyobethelela step 2, sorry, siyaqhumisa. We said eliyeza lakho loqhumisa sisibunge sakho. Remember, you have lenda uguqa kuyo now. Apulayita khona ikhandlela, apulayita khona impepho, kulapho uzawuqhumisa khona isibunge sakho. Is up to you ukuqhumisa daily, ukuqhumisa every second day, ukuqhumisa once a week, ukuqhumisa whenever you feel like. Thatha yo charcoal ubeka phaya uyachisa, ulayita impepho yakho, ulayita ikhandlela, uthethe nabantu abadala, you remind them ukuthi preschool isavulile, ndibizele nabantu bantu abadala, izinto engathi asahambi kakuhle. One thing we forgot to mention pha phezulu as part of the general principles, in the place apho uguqa khona, you must also have something ofaka kuyo imali. In isiZulu they have what they call imbende. Is something eyenziwe ngemizi, something entlenyane nesiciko ethungwe kakuhle. It could be ingca, it could be imizi, ufaka khona imali. Kulapho le mali yabantu abadala uyifaka khona. Abantu abadala imali iyaphela. Every time ufumana imivuzo, meaning people are paying you, not all of it. You don't have to take every money of Agembende. Some people are paying you via EFT, internet transfer of whatever shapes and forms. But there must be something oyisayo bantu abadala nansi imali yenu. Remember, we've declared this business ukuthi is not yours. Business yabantu abadala. Now imali yabo ke lena. So you tell them nansi imali yenu endiyifumeneyo ngale period. So every time uyoguqa, you tell them bantu abadala ndiyabulela abantu bayangena, bantu abadala abantu abangeni. Remember the difference between you with umuntu onawuleza zilwane, yena talks to ezizilwane. When you talk to abantu abadala, they will be slow, they will be abantu abadala as you know them, they track their feet. Siyacenga ke abantu abadala, siyabulele abantu abadala. Ubulele nongeka ifumani, ndiyabulela ngaba bantu enizawubangenisa apha ekhaya bazisa abantwana babo. Ndiyabulela abantu abadala ngale saloni nizawuyingenisa abantu. Ndiyabulela, ubulela ngento engekabikho, because ngothetha siyadala. So I'm saying umane uqhumisa ke. If wena you run a preschool, ungaqhumisa preschool if yafuna. Mna I say qhumisa kule ndawo uthetha kuyo. If you can, ungaqhumisa naphayana preschool. So uPriscilla ke I think simgqibile, simenzele amayeza okukhupha izinto ezimdaka, iziqwaliso, zichitho zimnyama, and then samnika into yochela ekhaya, nika into yoqhumisa ekhaya, into yobethelela. We gave uPriscilla step 2, la mayeza enhlahla, amayeza othandeka. Now when uPriscilla is done, we suggest uPriscilla must have something to apply ebusweni so that abantu bamthande uPriscilla. uPriscilla, you can give uPriscilla isiphono. Is up to you. Mna I'm suggesting aloe vera oil. Aloe vera oil will give uPriscilla a glow as aloe vera. Before you even add amayeza, uPriscilla will have a glow. Aloe vera generally gives you a glow. Now this aloe vera uyithake namayeza are very fine. Uyithake namafutha enhlahla. Amafutha enhlahla ke, let's face the reality, we are struggling to get amafutha original. We are really struggling. If you can get amafutha from umqhagi. What is umqhagi in English? Is it a cock? A cock crow. I think it's a cock. It's difficult even to extract lamafuta because in most cases umqhagi is very lean. But lamafuta umqhagi are protective. ngamafutha that will help uPriscilla, will wake up uPriscilla if izikhonto ezimdaka in some way, will wake up amafutha akuPriscilla to alert la mafutha kaPriscilla ukuthi something amiss is happening. So amafutha omqhaki ana all the nice properties zomqhaki, and you will get them wena. So there is no need to worry ukuthi is not original, you'll get wena. And we always advise abantu, use umqhaki, not the one you buy in some stand. You see that one, that's sitting mqhaki. Get from someone who's got chickens at home, because we need umqhaki that would have protected his kukukas. Umqhaki that would have awoken his kukukas. Umqhaki that would have fed his kukukas. And all these kukukas are coming. We need that umqhaki, not the mqhaki who doesn't know how to do the things that we are talking about. Now, uPriscilla, unayo into yokuthambisa. Priscilla, you only apply in your face. Even if it's once every second day, once a week, but from time to time, apply the aloe vera oil, or uPriscilla can use imboziso oil. Nayo is protective, is like a prevention. uPriscilla won't be worried ukuthi uzawukhawuleza benemiqwaliso, because imboziso oil will assist uPriscilla as some kind of a prevention. That's why I will leave it. Then let's take it to WhatsApp. Let's discuss. Give me your approach. What are you not happy with? Let's start talking. Kuseklasini apa, we are sharing. Let's start sharing. Someone may have a clever approach than this one. Someone may want to add other things, may want to take out other things. Someone may have other suggestions. Someone may even tell us where to get amafuta original. I'm throwing it to you as a group. Let's take it to a WhatsApp group.